Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle time itself. Well, how we talk about it anyway. We're turning this tricky topic into a super clear visual guide for you.
So we're diving into a really key concept from the textbook. Basically, how we talk about before and after in English. You know that feeling when you're telling a story and you can just see on the other person's face that they're totally lost about when things happened? Yeah, that. Well, this is the secret to fixing that for good. We're going to break it all down step by step.
Okay, here's the game plan for mastering time. We'll kick things off with a big idea, then we'll look at planning the future, unlocking the past, see it all work together, and then, yep, it's your turn with a final challenge. By the end, you'll have all the tools you need to tell your stories perfectly in order.
All right, let's jump right in. First up, before and after. Before we even touch any grammar rules, we got to get our heads around the one simple idea that holds everything else together. And that is sequence.
Just think about it for a second. Every single story you tell, every movie you've ever seen, it all has a sequence, right? This happens, then that happens. And what's so cool is that English has these specific tools, like built right into the grammar, to help you control that timeline. It's all about making sure your listener's right there with you, knowing exactly what happened first and what's about to happen next.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's start by looking forward. How do we actually talk about our plans, or what we think is going to happen? All the stuff that hasn't happened yet. Let's check out our first tool for the job.
And that main tool is the simple future tense. And honestly, the formula couldn't be easier. It's just will plus a verb. That's it. We'll go. We'll study. We'll decide. Super simple, right? And really effective.
So let's say you're thinking about tomorrow. You might ask your friend, hey, what will you do tomorrow? And their answer is just a straightforward peek into the future. I will go to the library.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. A little insider tip for you. In English, we actually have a couple of ways to talk about the future. We use will a lot for those split-second, in-the-moment decisions. Like the phone rings and you just say, I will get the door. But then there's be going to, and we use that for stuff we've already planned. You've thought about it, you've decided. She is going to visit the aquarium. It's a small difference, but it's a really important one for sounding natural.
Okay, so we've looked forward into the future. Now let's hit rewind and jump into the past. And this is where things can get a little tricky, I'll admit. But it's also where your storytelling can become so much more powerful. We're talking about how to handle two events that both already happened. So what's the puzzle here? How do you explain that one thing in the past happened before another thing in the past? This is where a lot of people get tripped up. But don't worry, there's a special tool designed for exactly this. It's like a little flag you can wave to your listener that says, hey, we're doing a quick flashback.
And that amazing tool is the past perfect tense. Seriously, think of it as your own personal time machine right inside a sentence. The formula is just had plus the past participle of the verb. So you get things like had gone, had seen, had finished.
And this timeline here just lays it all out, doesn't it? When you say, when I arrived, the party had begun, what are you really saying? You're saying event A, the party starting, happened before event B, you getting there. That tiny little word had is your magic signal. It always points to the earlier of the two past events.
So let's look at this example. What's the most important thing to see here? It's the sequence. Event A, mom falls asleep. That happened first. Event B, they reach the airport. That happened second. And how do we know for sure? That past perfect had fallen is the dead giveaway. It's the clue that spells out the order for us.
Okay, theory is great and all, but let's see how this actually works. We're going to do a few quick-fire examples right from the book, and your job is simple. Just spot the action that happened first. Ready?
See the pattern there? It's pretty cool, right? In both of these sentences, the part with had is the thing that happened first. First, the car had been repaired. Then the father came. First, the soup had been cooked. Then the grandparents arrived. See? It's such a powerful little tool for making things super clear. And one more time, what's the sequence here? They had started running out before the rain got heavier. That one little word had does all the heavy lifting. It makes the order of events absolutely crystal clear for anyone listening.
All right, so we've looked at the tools for looking forward and the tools for looking back. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the main thing you need to remember from all this? It's actually pretty simple when you boil it down. You now have the two most important tools for controlling the timeline when you speak English. Will points to the future, had points to the first of two things in the past. And trust me, using these correctly is the difference between a story that's kind of confusing and one that's totally compelling.
Okay, now it's your turn to put this into practice. Take a good look at this picture.
We see the family arriving at the airport, and mom is fast asleep. So, my question for you is, using the past perfect, what had happened before this exact moment? Really think about it. This is how you take what you've learned and actually start doing it. What's the full story this one picture is telling us?